One thing that I'm very happy to see in the Cars diecast line this year is the return of some older color changers. The color changers line returned to store shelves back in 2020, and for whatever reason, since it came back, they haven't brought back any of the older color changers from the 2010s or mid-2010s until now. I'm really happy to see that, since a lot of older color changers are pretty rare and also pretty interesting, featuring unique characters, some of whom haven't come back yet, as well as very interesting and sometimes quite different color combinations. The color changers line has been pretty great over the last few years since it came back in 2020, but I do think that only re-releasing items from 2020 and beyond has started to become a weakness of the line, and I think it was really about time that they brought back some older items, and I'm very, very happy that that happened. This year, we've gotten two older color changers back, Dinoco McQueen, who I took a look at a few weeks ago, and regular Doc Hudson, both of whom were originally released in 2010 and then came back in the mid-2010s. Doc here came back in 2016, which is when he was last seen. This is his second re-release ever. We also have the Purple Ramon color changer this year, who is pretty similar to his older item, but it's actually more of an upgrade, updated variant, whereas this Doc and the Dinoco McQueen are both just straight up re-releases of their older items. I really like this direction, and I hope we continue to get a combination of newer color changer re-releases, new color changers, and older re-releases like this guy right here. So let's take a closer look at Doc. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another review and to another color changer review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Doc Hudson, making his grand return to the color changers line for the first time in 10 years. I actually don't have a Doc color changer. I just have the fabulous Hudson Hornet color changer that released a few years ago, which is a really, really great item. The fabulous Hudson Hornet that turns from red to blue. They did another Hudson Hornet more recently, one that changed from blue to kind of a weird greenish yellow. Funny story with that one. I didn't get it because I just didn't like how this color scheme looked, and at the time, I wasn't really buying a lot of new color changers because so many of the ones they were doing were just new color variants of ones that were just out a few years before. And I contacted my friend Cars Ignite when I was working on diecast history for Doc. He provided the footage of this Doc color changer, which is actually how I confirm that, yes, this is a direct re-release. As you can see, this is an exact re-release, and this guy had an average price of $56. Anyway, I contacted Cars Ignite since he had footage of this one, and I asked him, hey, I also don't have the Hudson Hornet that changes from blue to yellow. Do you have that one? And he was like, no, I didn't get that one. It was ugly. It looked like snot. And I think about that a lot. He was very right. Anyway, Doc here, of course, is going to change from blue to black. You can see he's already in his black color scheme here. He looks pretty sleek. I'm always a little disappointed when I find a color changer in the store that's in the less interesting color. I've genuinely considered, like, should I soak these in warm water before I start filming? Because, I mean, one of the most interesting things about a color changer when you first get it is seeing the color that, you know, the character typically isn't. But you're already seeing that right here. As you can see, we've got the color changers logo there with Doc changing from blue to black. Doc's very nonchalant, typical artwork looks really funny when paired up with him violently getting splashed by water. He seems to not really mind. As you can see, he is going to change from blue to black, and it's even reusing the old prototype image from when the color changers line first started back in around 2010. Very happy to have a color changer of regular Doc and a new color changer of Doc that doesn't look like snot. All right, let's get him out here. All right, and here he is. I was just going to say, yep, he's going to start changing back to blue because of the warmth of my hands. But here he is. He's changing already. Wait, watch this. Ready? Ta-da! Oh, he's back. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at Doc when he's blue for the majority of the review, and then we'll put him in the cold water. I mean, he's not all the way. We have some leftover black coloring under his eyes. He just kind of looks like he's part of an emo band right now. Loving the makeup choices lately, Doc. You are looking great, man. Okay. All right. So, as you can see, Yeah, this looks just like the images I've seen of the original one. It's a very simple plastic dock. This comes from 2010. You know, it's a direct re-release of the 2010 ones where they weren't super detailed, but it captures Doc's details pretty well, as you can see here. There actually is one notable difference that I've just realized compared to Cars Ignite's footage. I believe Doc is actually missing a logo. Yeah, look. Here in Ignite's footage of his, Doc still has that logo, and that's unfortunately not on him here. That's pretty interesting, but other than that, this item does seem to be pretty one-to-one. Unfortunately, since this is a plastic item, they didn't do Doc's usual chrome, but they did give him slightly metallic plastic, which is nice, just like regular Doc. That does carry on to the base, so he does have a slight metallic sheen to him. He has this kind of classic plastic Doc expression. Every plastic Doc we've gotten over the years, including the one that we got recently for the Hudson Hornet, just has this very kind of dull, bored expression, which is a pretty good recreation of the original Doc expression, but I think this one has a lot less personality than this one. Like a lot of color changers, the base color, the blue, is not like spot on. Again, it is a bit of a duller color, but that's okay. You're buying something where the whole point is that it's going to change to a different color. But yeah, I really like the silver detailing here for a direct re-release of an older color changer. It's just nice to see. Everything seems pretty much one-to-one, pretty accurate. With Dinoco McQueen, he was missing some of the details that you would expect Dinoco McQueen to have, because when the color changers first came out, they were a lot less detailed. Doc here seems to be spot on. In fact, I've noticed another difference here compared to Cars Ignite's footage, that this logo on Doc's back, the Hudson Hornet logo here, is actually not colored in on the original item. And it's really nice to see that it has been colored in here. It's something that actually isn't colored in on the original Doc anyway. It would have been nice if they did the little Hornet as well, but hey, I'll take this over nothing, considering it's not even colored in on the original Doc. So those are two different changes in the design. This little logo has been removed, but this colored in part has been added, and honestly, I'm really happy to see that, but it does make the Hornet logo stand out as just this weird kind of colored bump, since one is colored in and the other isn't. There's a look at the other side. There is a look at the base. Now, I know we saw Doc in his black color scheme when I first opened him up, but let's move this guy to the water and take a closer look. I know, while watching my Dinoco McQueen color changer review last month, you were all incredibly concerned that one of my two iconic water containers went missing and had to be replaced with a slightly shorter one. Well, all 0 of you who left comments desperately hoping that I would find the old one can finally rest easy knowing that my two water containers are back together once again. All right, so let's bring Doc into the cold. Okay, that was fast. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but I guess we already transformed him. Yeah, I mean, my hands are too warm. Okay, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to grab it by the wheels. Now that we can fully see this Doc without changing his color back, I gotta say, this looks so sleek. Something about a classic car like Doc in all black looks genuinely so cool, so slick. It's like he's going to some sort of black tie event. Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He looks hardcore. All right, let's dip him back in the blue. There we go. It looks like I just gave him a wig. Okay, let's see. You know, when I'm doing the thumbnails for these, I always have to be like, what's the right amount to make one color? Because I try to do it roughly halfway, but some characters like Doc here, it looks a little awkward halfway. Oh, that didn't even change him all the way. There we go. I think that's going to be nice for the thumbnail. You know, I think my one complaint with this item really is the facial expression, because the Hudson Hornet color changer we got recently definitely has a better one. It's pretty similar, but the eyes are larger and a bit more emotive, and I was really hoping that this would have that facial expression, but unfortunately it didn't. We do have a good upgrade with that in the back, but other than that, it is just a straight up re-release of the 2010 item. Very happy to have it back on store shelves, and I really hope that this isn't just a 2 off thing or a 2.5 off thing, if you want to count the purple Ramon. I hope we got some older color changers back on store shelves again, so long as it's not one of the really stupid ones like the Snot Rod that changes from orange to slightly different orange. I think we could pass on that one. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.